It was so funny because yesterday I was sitting right there where Corey's sitting. I was sitting next to Dr. Angie, and we're like, after listening to Tulane, we're like, Angie, we're done. We don't have to speak. Let's just pack it up. Like, because that was it. Wasn't that awesome yesterday? Yeah. Let's give it up for everybody. Wow, following my sister. Holy crap. And I was telling Robbie, let me go now because it's half the room is there. So that I can just go in and get out, you know? Like, no, we're going to wait. We're going like, okay, that's cool. But, yeah, very powerful. In fact, it's so funny because after that, it was like, you got a pink button? You're like, you got a pink button? Hot pink! It was actually fluorescent pink. and the whole point is, because you have the hottest bike, all the girls will look at you. That was a concept. So.
Hey, look at the girl behind you.
Oh! Yeah. You know, so Robbie sent me an email and said, hey, you're going to talk about culture, you know? And I'm like, wow, it's so hard to talk about it, right, Robbie? Because it's actually doing. It's actually by showing. And sometimes Facebook is show-off, right? Because you're out there showing off, right? How many of you guys like to check in? Check in, Foursquare, Yelp, right? Because I love to check in. Yeah. Because all my friends go, oh, there's suckers at Disneyland. Someone told me, I can't remember who, me and Mike were talking about this, like, geez, at Disneyland again. You know, I think it was Al. It was you, right, Al? Your wife, Amy, was like, geez, at Disneyland, son of a gun, you know? So hey, it's showoff.com, right? You know about it. But I love it because, I mean, it's the culture, it's the lifestyle, you know? And for me, it's a little more, because Corey knows, you know, my parents, my sister. You ever saw Canal Scoop Rice before? Oh, I got pictures, I'm sure you guys did. It's like, Canal came over and it's like, gee, I just want to, you know, eat chicken, you know? It's like, we're like Scoopy Rice. Oh boy, it's so funny. Robbie, I thought I had 20 minutes. How come it's only... No, I was kidding. So going back where I was starting, culture, wow. I mean, I've seen some teams where they forgot the U-R-E at the end, and it becomes, yeah, where it's yeah, well, we're not in that company, right? So we're in the Yoli company. And the cool thing about it is the culture that we created as a group, as a team, became the Yoli culture. Because we're Yoli. Think about it, right? Who's in Yoli? Raise your hand. Raise 2 hands. Come on, guys, come on. We're all in, right? What Danny said. You sign up and when you commit, right?
Yeah.
That's right. There you go. So let's go on with this. Okay. So Kale's gonna, well, I love Kale because I'm like, yeah, you know, I got so much stuff to do. You know, I got to take care of all the team members here, and you know, get them here. You know, make sure the hotel's safe. And I'm like, where's your PowerPoint sheet? Oh yeah, I'll get to you later. Where's your PowerPoint? Oh yeah, I'll get to you later. So this morning, I'm like, here you go, buddy.
Hey, you duplicated.
And I duplicated.
Me.
Because Corey.
There you go.
Because every time we drove down San Diego, right? Where was Tulane and Angel. Every time we drove there, guess who was with me? Corey, right? Corey's like in the passenger seat and he's doing his thing. And it's like unbelievable because no matter how much we wave and shift through the streets, he's always, he doesn't get motion sickness, by the way. So you can drive like crazy and he still gets his PowerPoint done on time. Unbelievable. But there's certain things about the kids. And I'll go back to this slide. There's one thing I want to talk about is about, you know, did I miss this? Oh, that's good. Okay. So the thing about culture is that it works either way, you know, and there's just 2 concepts of this part I want to really go through. Is about grinders and rock stars, okay? And if you look on the left, and I went through a very similar slide before, but I want to make a point here, so you guys understand something, okay? The guy on the left, right, is spinning the plates on a circus, and he's spinning them in a row. So if he doesn't keep spinning them, what happens to the plates?
Tumble.
Exactly, so he has to go in a row. So he has to do this one first, then this one, and then this one, and then this one. When this is done, he has to go all the way back and do this one again, okay? That's the grinder mentality versus the rock star mentality. Rockstar makes CDs, people buy them, now it's on MP3s, and people listen to them. It's that rockstar mentality. So let's take it further. Superhero versus superstar. This is Chris's favorite, because I read this up from Chris, by the way. And the difference between the superstar and the superhero is that the superhero wants to save everybody, which is great. We all want to do that, right? I mean, how many of you guys had underoos back then? Be honest. Yeah. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So you have the superhero, okay? But the problem with the superhero is that he can't be everywhere. He wants to save every single person. The problem is he can't. Remember in Spider-Man, when he had Mary Jane on one side and the school bus on the other side? He had to make a choice, right? It's not always like that, but the superhero role is very difficult and doesn't duplicate very well. But the superstar, that was a different story. Okay, grinders. Yeah, megamind, right? Exactly. What's the difference between grinding? What does that mean exactly? Well, now, don't get me wrong, this can be taken in different ways, but see, when people are grinding, they're always trying to strategize the grind. Does that make sense? Trying to see how I can do this, how I can do this. But you actually have to just duplicate your way in. See? Strategies, methods, tactics. These are all great, don't get me wrong, but to strategize versus rank advancement for duplication is a different story. So I want you guys to understand something a little bit different, okay? The rockstar mentality, developing strong culture, and that drives leadership. Okay? It drives volume, recruiting, and growth. This is huge. Okay? Now, what's culture? Anybody want to know? I got 10 steps here, but I can't go through all 10 because I got 14 minutes left. So I'm going to pick on a few of these, which I think is very, very powerful. I should see cameras flashing at this right now, just so you guys can see. If you didn't get it yet, do it now. I'll give you 2 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, flip. No, I'm kidding. Awesome. Okay? And if you think about it, a lot of the leaders here have these characteristics, right? Think of Daniel Song, for example. Something to think, right? Is he professional? Absolutely. Great speaker? Come on, look at that. Duplication, he gets it all down. Okay? A lot of people, a lot of leaders have all these characteristics. Look at Dr. Fukuchi, okay? Dr. Mike. Did you guys love that video or what?
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy, it's insane. Duplication. And why I am so strict on duplication, because I understand how it works. Once I figured it out, I knew that this was a key in building a business. Okay? It's not does it work, it's you have to ask the question, does it duplicate? Everything you do, you must ask the question, does it duplicate? Not does it work. Get the doesn't work mentality out. That's how I go. Does that make sense? Another thing is, wrong duplication will happen 100% of the time. Right duplication, 30 to 40% at the most. Which that means, if you do something wrong, let's say for example, you're in a DDP, and you're texting like crazy and you're on the phone, people are going to see that and they're going to duplicate that. Okay? Corey, that wasn't the wrong duplication what we did, right? We're good, right? Cool. Okay. But this is important too, so I just want you guys to see what we're talking about here. Okay? Alright. Does anybody know what this is?
Breakfast.
Okay, we get 2 screwed rice, eggs, Portuguese sausage, and Spam.
Ew.
Okay? Now people are like, what is that? Okay, keep going. Oh, what's this? Simon. People in the mainland call it ramen, but in Hawaii we call it Simon. Okay? You know, it's noodles, right? Top ramen, you know, whatever, right? Okay, but did you guys know this? Ah, why is that so? Okay. Now, Robbie loves talking about McDonald's because why? It's one of the strongest franchises of duplication, the system of duplication, right? Guess what? You think culture is just as strong? Absolutely. Why? In the Hawaii culture, we have this. You're not going to see this anywhere else in McDonald's except Hawaii. True or true? True. Right? See? Culture duplicates? Yes or yes? Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, look at that. I think that's Chinese or Japanese. Mega Mac. I need Darren to translate this, Darren. I don't know. Awesome. Makuro? No, whatever. Same thing. Same thing. Different culture, different countries will duplicate different parts of the culture that you won't see here. Yeah? So you have to learn how to adapt. This is very important. People in Iowa are not going to do the same thing people in LA. Right? Same people in New York. It's totally different. You have to understand that. It's a good concept. Now, Jenny really talked about this a lot. And she said, what? You got to come in on a party pack or a death, correct? And it was the same because I remember back in Hilo when Carrie Carrera, Carrie, where are you, Carrie? Okay? We were doing a PvP at her house, and then Chelsea came over, Chelsea Abe. She came in with a party pack. So when she came with her white box, everybody's like, what's that white box? They never saw a white box before, because they all came on decks. You know what I'm saying? And Chelsea's like, can I trade? And goes, nope, absolutely not. You know? Like, I know, that was pretty funny, but that... This is very important. How you bring in your people is how they're going to bring in their people. Very, very important. You know when you bring somebody on a transformation kit, what happens? That's going to duplicate. 100% of the time, duplicate. Does that make sense? Does it click? Yeah? Awesome, right? Okay, let's go. Rank advancement. Okay? There's another thing. You can't sponsor your way there. And at the lower levels, you can, absolutely. Okay? But there's something different between the ranks. There's a place in the ranks where once you hit 5-star gold, you can't sponsor your way there anymore. You have to learn how to duplicate your way, right? Why? What is the why? Why is that? Because there's a 5-star involved, correct? To get a 5-star gold, you need 1 5-star, which means you need to duplicate that. That step needs to be duplicated for you to move up 5-star gold. To hit ruby, you need 2 5-stars, right? So you need to duplicate that twice. It's very, very important. You can't just sponsor your way in. At the beginning, sure, you want to sponsor your way in, but to continue up the ranks, and when you go diamond, guys, if you can sponsor 10,000 volume, absolutely. Okay, you do that the second way. Does that make sense? You have to duplicate your way in. And when you duplicate your way in, always think of, does it duplicate? That's the question you always have to do. You have to ask yourself. Okay? And some of the things I really want to touch on is the topic. I mean, these events, okay? And yeah, Jay, we had some great time, right? I was gonna put a picture of Kinalu, but I mean, yeah. So you don't want to see that. You remember that, right? Yeah, I was actually gonna put a video of you singing. I had that video. Yes, I do. So yeah, it was so much fun. It's unbelievable. But events are important because it's the culture. Does that make sense? The event after the event, which just is important. Why? Because don't just do your VPs and leave. Do your VPs and spend time with your team. Okay? And I'll tell you why. Because at the end, it's all about the culture. It's all about the glue that you created with them. You know, the more, the time you create with them, the stronger the glue. Does that make sense? And you need that to hold everything together. Okay? So spending time with them, I'm not saying buy the food for everybody, but I'm saying, hey, chip in, let's break bread together, right? Because a family that eats together
stays together.
Yeah. Look at that. That team was on fire in New York. Okay, look at that. Give New York a hand. These events, when you do VPs, take the picture. Chris does it the best. Take a picture of your whole team after the end of the party. Why? Because everybody can do that, right? Take a picture, be proud of what you're doing. Oh, this one right here, I'll tell you. It's so funny. Thank you, Jay's wife got us these shirts that says Boston Strong, and they actually took us around where the Boston Marathon happened. It was so cool because it was not too long ago after we went there and visited. We actually went to Virginia, Washington, D.C. It was the first time seeing the state capitol. I've always wanted to go there, but I had never had an excuse or a reason to go there. So when we went there, I had a friend that actually picked us up in a limo. And guys, if you want to go to D.C., you want to look at D.C., there's only one way to do it, and that's in a limo. Trust me. I mean, if you have to Uber your way in, right, Corey? You got to do it, because that's the only way to see Washington, D.C., because there's no parking. You can't really park anywhere. So it's all cool, because these are the things that create memories, create fun. Remember on that list, we had fun on top of the bottom? Okay? I mean, it was Jenny and the Large sisters, right? I mean, what they're saying, you gotta have fun in this event. Without the fun, you can't do the whole focus. It's very, very important. Now, this is an event that we did in Hawaii, and we got everybody that qualified for Ruby and above, and we rented a limo, and we just had fun going around the islands, and it's like, I mean, you can only go in a circle, right? But we actually went up and came back down. Circle around the moon a couple times. But the whole point was, it was Uncle Darwin's birthday that time. We had a great celebration. But the time is the memories. Isn't it fun? It's the memories. And how many of you guys like to go on a limo ride? Right? It's fun. Come on. You gotta have this. It's so important. Keep your events fun, guys. That's a little hint there, right there. Awesome. Look at that. Corey, remember that right there? This is the party bus I rented in LA. In fact, you can see Robbie's back right there. I told you I got Robbie's back, right? I got him on camera. Wearing shorts. Yeah, he's got fur legs, by the way, but he's all sexy guy.
Party bus. Remember the big guy?
I remember the big guy. Yeah, that's the guy right there. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, this is the, actually in Hawaii, well, what happened was that more people joined us at the end, so we actually switched bus. So we got a bigger bus actually, so this is a bigger party bus. But you can see this, one thing I want you to notice is that if you look at all the pictures, let's go back to a couple of them. Look at the smiles. Well, Corey has $1 million smile, by the way, right? Because, I mean, look at that, right? But look at the smiles. There are smiles everywhere, look at that. You can't buy these smiles, man, look at that. And that's what we're creating here, you know? That lifetime, you know, the memories. You know, it's pretty amazing that some of these simple events, you know, with the right idea put together in place equals magic. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's unbelievable, you know? Okay. This came out a little blurry because I think Leanne was taking this picture. It's either Leanne or Wawa, you know? I can't remember. You know, we're on top of the Statue of Liberty, right? Hey, Leanne, by the way, thank you so much. Awesome, a little late. Yeah. Thank you. But see, it's all about having fun, you know? And sometimes, think about where you are and what, I mean, you know, if you live in the boonies, it's a different story, but think about where you live. Half the room is like, you stink guy right here. But think about where you live, right? And think of the tourist things that you can do, and it's fun. Even though you've done it many, many times before as a kid, but all of this creates that culture because guess what? Remember Facebook? While you're doing this type of event, people are like, oh, wow. I kid you not, I have so many people tell me, oh, so, you know, people I haven't seen in months or even years say, wow, I see you traveling all over the place. What's this Yoli about all of a sudden? And that Yoli always comes into the conversation. Do I pitch anymore? Not as much. They pitch me. Exactly. I'm like, oh, I'm glad you asked. You know, yeah, that's pretty cool. See, that's a picture. See, he wasn't the end. You see the guilty one right there. You see her face right there. She's the one that took the picture. But see, there we are in Hawaii and with Robbie again, and we're doing the island tour. We must have done that tour, what? How many times we were downtown? I mean, it's the same thing we've done all the time, but it's the company that you are with. Does that make sense? It's the people that you're with. And this will create that bear cycle that you guys learned from Daniel. Wasn't that awesome? Guys, this is all bear cycle, guys. You know, what you're doing now today is creating a huge bear cycle. And guess what? When you come back tomorrow, okay, those guys who are leaving, you gotta change it to it right now. If you're in my group, you come see me because I'll make you change. Seriously. And I'll tell you why. Keep your hostage right there. You know, the reason why is because the nuts and bolts. The event. You're going to learn so much more. I'm not saying we're not taking away from this, but you're going to hear a different point. You know, the distributor side. You're going to hear a lot of that story. Very, very important. You do not want to miss that event. Okay? I kid you not. I mean, how much does it cost to change your ticket? Like $100 or something? Right? Right? It's like, what, $100 or whatever? Use that and pay the $100. Okay? If not, ask Kinao or Chris because they choke money right now. And if you got a group, you go to Brian McCoy because, Brian, you take care of you right now. Right? Come on. Seriously, I kid you not. It's an important event that you must be. You must be at this event. Okay, let's put it this way. You know, when I was building my business, and I learned from Corey and Robbie, because I remember Robbie used to come to these events that Corey used to put up. It was so important to have to be there. I would listen to it, and I would kind of sneak in my recorder and listen to it. You know, but the key to this is you have to be at these events, and I'll tell you why. When I was building this business, I asked Corey, well, give me an advice. What's something like $1 million buzz? You guys want to hear $1 million buzz? Only 2 people? I'll tell you afterwards. But you're going to have to do the next class. So, just don't miss an event. It doesn't be that hard. So I kid you not, do not miss an event, I'll tell you why. You never know which speaker will resonate with you. You never know if it's that Kinao guy, Ruby Hall guys, right? Come on.
Yeah.
The large stories, the stories that comes out of here today, yesterday, the stories will take with you forever. And that's important. You never know which speaker will resonate with you. For me, it was, when I heard Kinao speak, it was, that's it, that guy is crazy. And you're going to hear him this afternoon. Okay? Do not go to the restaurant, hold your pee, I tell you. You gotta hold it, you gotta suck it up a little bit. But that's important. Seriously. Okay? For example, you know the events, Okay, I got 16 seconds, and I might take a minute extra. But let's see the events, how the events circulate the season. See, you have the season, right? How many of you guys, go to a prospect and the guy goes, oh yeah, you know what? I can't come because the school, just started for the kids, I can't come. Oh, guess what? After, it's this Thanksgiving, and Halloween, and let's do it after Halloween. I'll call you back. You call me up. Oh, you know what? Christmas. And I call you after New Year's. What happened? New Year's. You know what? The spring is this time. Is this something familiar? Yeah. Well, guess what? Tie your events around these events. Oh, you gotta go to a Christmas party. Or you gotta go to a DDPA Christmas night. Hell no. You want to go to a Christmas party? Absolutely. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Time
your events during this holiday season. Look, this you can see Ali with the Santa Claus hat, right? And I guess Daniel Ali still believes in Santa Claus. So. But you see these events here, they're just as important. You do the events according to the season, and you tie in that. You never have the same event twice. Does that make sense? Here in Hawaiian Chicken, what we do is we do a big luau every year. So hint, if it comes up, I don't care if you're in driving range, get over there. Seriously, right? It's that important, okay? Oh, how did I get there?
Yeah. That was on Facebook.
Yeah, listen tonight, that's love, right? When I was in high school, by the way, I went to the best high school in Hawaii. Am I the only person saying this? Mark Yamasaki, give me some love, bro. You got a lot of Kahuku fans. Okay. Well, see what my ROC instructor told me, right? Gene, it's leadership, not leader. Where's too late? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's that important because I understood what the BS was. And I took myself out of that because I wanted to be the leadership in that right position. And see, these are the characteristics of creating great culture. Here today, right now, you can start. You can start right now. How? By going up to the people, going up to the diners, asking them, how do you do this business? What are some of the things I need to do? I did a small contest for my team. I gave them $100 to like 5 people. The rest of the teams cannot qualify, okay? Because they're in tax. You got till tonight, okay? And your job is to interview every diamond that you see on the names on that board. Interview every one of them and make sure you get one advice from them, okay? And we're going to collect who collects the most out of it. And the winner gets $100. I did that with 5 people because I believe those 5 people needed it at the time. Does that make sense? Learn how to inspire people. Tell them what to do. A lot of people want to do this, but they don't know how. They don't know the steps. And the only way you can teach them the step is to do it first. Does that make sense? Duplicate it, guys. Trust me. This is it. This is huge. And the last, you gotta have fun. Right? You gotta have fun. You gotta have choke fun. Look at that. Right? You gotta have fun in this business. If not, why are we here, right? You gotta have enough stress at work, right? How much have stress at work? Yeah, a few of us do, right? You don't have to stress. Sucks! I don't know what's okay. Have fun with what you're doing. Have a lot of fun. Okay? And like I said earlier, we all heard, teamwork makes the dream work. Dude, it's true. I kid you not. Okay? The glue. Culture is the glue, guys. It's what keeps everything together. Okay? Does that make sense? You don't want to put your hands in sand and let it all, go through your fingers. Everything you create is solid. You want to keep it real. You want to create a legacy. How many of you guys want to create a legacy?